savings, for instance. We are not a country of people who save a lot. We actually consume here and now. We have to change that attitude. So we also have to find a way to really, you see, look, a lot of us believe, and this one, I said it in Nigeria, and there was a lot. Look, if you are a politician like me, the expectation is that I should be a rich man, isn't it? Why would you do that? But that is the behavior, that is the attitude of Ghanaians. You see, and that is where the gentleman is coming to, and that is what the president is saying. We should, nobody should be seen as maybe because of your position you should be doing that. If you put that pressure on the politician, that is where that dishonesty comes in. So I think the charter, which is going to be ready by the end of May, by middle of May, some of these issues will all crop up. In fact, Dr. Yawonsu is one of the people who engineered that charter. So this charter talks about some of these things that will actually help people to change their attitude towards certain things, and of course towards what that gentleman came here to talk about. The perennial floods in the country, I am sure you are very right. In fact, the Minister for Works and Housing has been charged with that responsibility. It is not a question of rushing through and then making some storms, making some culverts here and there, but he is actually setting up a hydraulic authority that will actually understand the causes of all these floods, because you actually use the right word, perennial. It happens every year. So if you go and silt once, it will come back. So this authority is actually charged with the responsibility to find the solution, a permanent solution to that. So he's actually working on it, and there's likelihood that we will solve that problem. You know, we had some difficulty like that in the north. Each time that the Bagri Dam is open, there's flood all over the place. And in fact, the president has charged the minister and all the ministers to make sure that this year, the Bagri Dam, I'm sure you know what the Bagri Dam is. I mean, the Burkina Faso, when it's open, the whole country is flooded. So this time around, and in fact, he's actually used the military and all the forces that we have in the country to ensure that there is no overflow, and when there's a spillover, it doesn't actually flood the whole country. So we are really very conscious of some of these things that you also are conscious of, and we are trying to find solutions to some of them. So I thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, the gentleman who asked about the PR, the Ghana PR. It may interest you to know that we are close to engaging with some international companies to give us more profile than we had before. Bloomberg is one. We are still discussing with CNN, and I'm sure you see some countries every night that flash on CNN. We'll do the same. We are talking to Qatar Airlines, who have approached us such that they put a Ghana video on their screens so all people traveling to Asia and Africa will see Ghana. We are talking to British Airways. We are talking to the Emirates. So that is all part of the agenda to give us better profile and do a bit more positive.
Thank you very much. So we end with two questions from the people who submitted questions. I've gone through the questions. The theme one is sanitation, and then the second one is road accidents relating to dual carriageways. People are asking, what are we doing about linking the major cities with dual carriageways and then sanitation? And then and then lastly, someone asked about immigration. It was part of the list.
Good evening. It's Sunday, and I think that so if we could all be a little attentive, then we will close. I think a few of us have to drive to New York tonight, so. But thank you really very much for coming. These are very important learning experiences for us as we begin to appreciate more your concerns. Infrastructure is not a cheap thing, and we need to somehow manage our resources to be able to do that. So we are thinking a lot more of tolling, etc., for the financing of some of our infrastructure works. So roads, as Senior Minister mentioned, the Sino-Hydro transaction is $2 billion of bridges, roads, interchanges, etc. That I think the President cut the sword for Tamale on Wednesday or something, and it's going to follow through throughout the next 18 months consistently. Sanitation is also one of those important areas that we are targeting. I know that we've agreed to about $300 million to be able to begin to tackle the sanitation problem, especially in Greater Accra. So those who are being looked at. There's a question from Irene, I think, on the millennials and diaspora, which you'll be able to answer. I guess, as Prof. Baffour mentioned, he lived here and came back home, and so did I. But I think it takes quite a bit of sacrifice and sometimes disappointment. I remember going home with now my wife, and she might have been the third PhD in clinical psychology, but it took the university maybe 6 months before she got an appointment. And it's very easy to give up and go home and go back to where you came from. But I think one really needs to ask oneself whether one wants to give back to the country or not, and I had to make a determination that nobody was going to drive me out of Ghana, irrespective, whether it's government or the individual, etc. And that's your own personal commitment. And it may be very painful and difficult because you feel deeply you are bringing a resource to your country and you are feeling rejected. But it's not about that person rejecting you. It's about you determining whether you want to. So we went back, and I think we wanted to start an investment bank. And guess where we got our first office space? In Cantonment. How do you begin an investment banking firm in Cantonment? But we were committed to it, and we figured, we've seen firms grow in New York, and they started in weird ways. So 20 years later, Data Bank becomes a big investment bank, all sorts of things that happen. And it's unfortunate because you may want to receive a red carpet, but it's you deciding to give to your country or not. And I think that has to be, so we've been back some 20 years, 3 kids later, an adopted child, nice marriage. I'm happy, So I think really, and even as we have these town hall discussions, I don't think it's an issue of anger, really. There must be some frustrations here and there, but clearly there's more you can do than you are doing. And people give in various ways. People support their families at home, people bring investees to come, people move. All of that go to make the diaspora experience, which we have to appreciate as a country. But the frustrations of coming home, are legendary. Everybody has their story. But you move back, and then 5 years later, you say, if I had stuck through it, it might have been. Because the first 2-3 years, I can assure you, are not pretty. But it's your country, and it's a beautiful country. So let's do it. And I think really we have a chance at this point. There seems to be a new recalibration of where we want to go. There's a new commitment. Our stock is very high, the flag is flying. And so, in as much as we may not like everything we see, I think there's a lot more you have to give than maybe we can give you. And it's your decision, actually, to come home. And for us, if you run into us, we will try to help to facilitate that. But it does not mean that everybody will help. And so your urge, your inner belief to come back will be more important. On the issue of a national policy on integrity, it is important because sometimes you really see a lot of gray, where people are not clear what is right and what is wrong. But the more of a critical mass of the aspirants that come, the more you influence that space. So you have a place like Ashesi University where exams are taken without teachers, okay? Just so that it's personal integrity that is being built. So you begin to see these kind of 1,000 points of lights of excellence, popping up from different places. And you represent, the possibility of those points of excellence if you take the risk to come home. So we will continue to keep faith, and we'll continue to try and change the way in which we do things. We'll continue to manage the economy as best as we can, and we'll continue to make you feel proud as you walk around, even as you're angry with us, knowing that Ghana is doing much, much better than it used to be. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Minister. I think there was a question on immigration, but I'll leave it to immigration. Yeah. In terms of people coming into Ghana,
as far as immigration is concerned, personally, I do believe that we have one of the most porous borders that any country could ever have. So what we need to do, that we can't afford a war. I believe that there's a lot we can do about it, and I'm quite sure that at the appropriate time we'll do it, and maybe this is the appropriate time. I took the floor basically to thank all of you for coming, and also to mention, now that I have you, I have a couple of requests to make. From the questions and the comments this evening, there's obviously in this room a serious pool of talent, a serious pillar of commitment, and of course, a certain amount of capacity that your country needs. And I would want to believe that you, in your turn, would want to give these qualities. The problem that I have, that I suspect that 95% of you don't have any information on yourselves at this embassy. So if, for instance, I get an inquiry, and I do get inquiries a lot of the times, that maybe we needed somebody who could either do this or be able to help think about this. We don't have anybody we can tackle. So I would want to appeal to you this evening that if you haven't done so, please register with the embassy. Secondly, this is what Ghana has called the Year of Return. And therefore, there are lots of activities going to go on in this country and in Ghana in connection with the 400th anniversary of the first black slaves coming into this country. I would want to hope that all of you could encourage your friends, if not yourselves, to visit Ghana. And when you go to Ghana, please spend some money. Spend a lot of it, so that at least there will be an injection of a bit of capital into the economy. So please, try and visit Ghana at least this year. From what it is that has been said from the platform this evening, one can only conclude. And before that, may I mention, and I was going to skip it because the finance minister mentioned it, the question of going home. Home is where you go and they have to take you in. And therefore you don't need any encouragement from anybody to go home. Sometimes people ask it as if they went home, it constitutes a favor that they are doing their own country. And it shouldn't be so. So please, do go home. Because even if you are super comfortable in this country, I can assure you that there is not much comfort sitting on somebody else's front porch and watch your house burn. Because after the fire is down and all you've got are the ashes, the owner of the front porch might walk up to you and ask you, when are you going home? When he knows that you have no home to go to. So please go home with a bit of happiness in your heart, a bit of step in your gait, so that your country will feel proud that you came, and you will feel proud that you went back to the country. That one, please consider it seriously. From what has been said, I can only conclude, and that conclusion I've always had, that the government basically is trying to do things in such a way that at least every single Ghanaian at a certain point could tell himself or herself that there is hope for me. And in fact, for some people, hope may well be the only thing they've got. And they would want to hold tightly onto it. It is our charge. It is our responsibility. It ought to be our as it were, responsibility that we help the government hold on to whatever it is that is being done to sustain that hope for all of us. I've mentioned before, and I want to mention it to you, that Ghana is one big diamond. A bit dirty. We need to wash it. We need to polish it. And we need to use it wisely. At the moment, even in this town, with all the fights that we are having with some people in the administration, Ghana has become the poster boy for Africa. We want to keep it that way. So please, as individual Ghanaians, as a group of Ghanaians, let us all decide that that is the one country we own, that is the one country we have, and that is the one country we should support, and that is the one country we should hold up as an exemplar. If not for the world, at least for the African continent. May I thank you, gentlemen, for coming and giving us reasons to be happy. And again, I would want to thank all of you for investing your attention this evening. But then, I'm expecting that a lot of you will start having communication with us so that we do the best for our country. A very good evening to you.
Your Excellency, for your information, for the first time in the history of the IMF and the World Bank, an African was elected to chair the Development Committee of the World Bank, the Development Committee of the IMF, and that was the Finance Minister of Ghana.
Go!
I believe he earned this because of the performance of the government back home. His election was unanimous. Thank you very much.